Hi, welcome back
Hello.
to part 3 and final of episode 50, Finding the Path.
Woohoo!
Woo! Let's remind ourselves who our sponsors are. Brad?
We have sponsors. Our sponsors are great. We love our sponsors, and our sponsors love us.
Hopefully.
Our first sponsor, we hope.
They are our sponsors.
Our first sponsor, our friends at Gaming Paper. Check them out at gamingpaper.com. They have rolls of gaming paper, sheets of gaming paper in square grids, isometric grids. They have dry erase tiles and transparent tiles and a whole bunch of other great stuff for your tabletop gaming needs.
Hey, thank you.
Our second sponsor are our friends at Character Case. If you travel to your game and don't want to forget your character sheet, your dice, your minis, your pencils, any of that good stuff, pack it up into a character case. Check them out at helpfulnpcs.com or search for Character Case on Facebook for updates about their stuff. And lastly, our friends at Sirenscape will be providing all of the wondrous noises that you will hear not made by our mouths.
Hooray!
Good job. All right, guys, we're going to get into the recap and then do this thing. So here we go. See you on the other side.
Safely back at the Hall of Twilight, the Children of Destiny celebrated Jill's induction into the Harpers, as well as her engagement to Merrick, with lots of drinking, including some fiery shots, courtesy of Leith. After the very inebriated party members dragged themselves off to bed, Leith received a late-night visit from Harley, who showed up at his door with a case of insomnia, a giant book, and a desire to talk about the research she'd just done on the Shadow Bar. Leith invited her to join the Children of Destiny for breakfast the next morning. And that's where we pick up the adventure tonight, on Dice Tales.
And we're back.
Hey! Woo! Heck of a recap.
All right.
What a recap.
So, I'm going to roll for dreams, because you guys were all sleeping eventually, maybe. Some of you.
Eventually.
All right, let's see.
I love hate dreams.
Callista, you have an awful nightmare that evening about the Tanthos catching up to you and leaving a path of destruction in their wake through all of Twilight Hall, and then realizing that they also wiped out your lover's hometown as well. So Theris is also gone. And it's just awful. Like, there's no redeeming qualities of this dream. It's just bad. And then you feel very helpless in the face of them. Leith, are you getting any sleep?
Yeah, like, after, reading is not Leith's strong suit, and so trying real hard to read what is essentially a history textbook, he's gonna pass out.
Yeah, cover to cover. Ugh.
Leith, you have one of the best dreams of your life. I wonder what it could be about.
There she is.
The fourth greatest dream you could ever have.
Amazing.
Beyonce, you have vaguely discomforting dreams that night, which makes sense. In them, you have vague memories of like the pleas of people wanting help in the situation in Waterdeep. But when you wake up, you don't remember specifics, just that those thoughts are hanging over you of what happened there. Jill, you don't dream at all. You sleep very hard and get very restful sleep with no dreams.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Such a rare occurrence.
It is. Wrapped up in your celebration here.
Wrapped up in his arms is what?
He's
This guy.
got guns.
2 tickets.
All right. Why don't you do a intelligence check for me, Leith, to see how much you glean from the book.
Oh, that's a straight 16.
Hey, that's pretty good. All right, so you do a lot of reading, studying sort of the history of the Netherese, And then what it has to say speculatively about the Shadowvar themselves. So the Netherese are also called the Neth, and they were mostly dark-haired, fair-skinned humans, and it was a magicratic society that they had in Netheril. So they elevated mages, and magic sort of ruled everything. It was a hierarchical magocracy, and they separated their flying enclaves into High Netheril and then cities of Low Netheril that were located around the Narrow Sea. And they shared a common script that was based around the Draconic alphabet, but the people who were like Low Netheril spoke a different dialect. And there was a lot of separation between the two classes, so to speak. And the Shadowvar were just one of the cultures or ethnic groups that sort of spun off from the Netherese, but obviously they're the ones who got exiled into Shar's plane for the 1700 years it's been since that city was banished. And during that time, it's mostly, like I said, speculation about what's going, but the people of that city, Tolthanthar, have seemingly become more and more attuned to the plane of shadow with each passing generation that remains there. They had many skilled wizards and powerful sorcerers among their number, and they primarily refer to their spellcasters as arcanists. They hold practitioners of the arcane arts in the highest regard, especially those who wield the power of shadow magic. And supposedly they have a great number of wizards and such that focus on like scrying magic too. And they're continually experimenting with and improving upon their art. And there are stories that there are some people that they like took captive and did experiments on who are maybe unwilling subjects, so to speak. They seem to be a strong-willed people that are sort of uncontested in their ambitions. They believe that they're destined for greatness, and they're a very domineering sort of society. And it's the goal of many of the devoted Shadowvar to undergo transformation into a full shade. There seems to be a distinction between being Shadowvar and being a shade like the princes are. But all the princes of shade, as they're called, such as Brennus and Rebelin, are shades themselves. Most Shadowvar are forbidden from leaving without escort, save for the cases of military officers or the princes themselves. And their entire society seems devoted to the veneration of Shar. And that worship has endured for over a millennia and a half. It predates when they were banished into the plane of Shar in the first place.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it was Telemont Tanthal who moved that city into the plane of shadow in the first place. And it has something to do with their Mythal, which you know was the sort of thing that was protecting Mithranor, that the seed was going to corrupt. Their Mythal, the book says, was infused with the power of the Shadow Weave and protected by the goddess Shar. So that's what you get before you fall asleep.
Wow.
A lot of information for Leith to try and remember.
It is. Good luck.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
When does the VOD come out, Ross?
As soon as possible.
Like, oh
right?
God, oh God.
Someday.
Someday. Oh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
So you guys
Wow.
can
Wow,
gather
wow.
up over breakfast. There's the
So,
picture from the book.
When
so
we
you guys
wake up,
can see.
when I wake up in the morning, before I leave my room, I will be taking my half of the sending stone, and I'll be like doing whatever I need to do to like wake it up, and I'll say, notice. I need to know that you are okay. Had terrible dream. Shadowva came, destroyed Arabar, found me, killed you. Please respond.
Oh.
Wow.
And you get an immediate response that says, I'm all right. It sounds like you had a terrible nightmare. I promise I'm okay. And hope you are too.
And it's once per day, so I can't use it again.
Yep.
It's like a paper cut. So Jill would wait for a time to see if Beyonce would come to meet her, and if he doesn't, she would go to his room. Beyonce was very drunk, so you could maybe see if
It's
Ross.
true.
Do you think you got out of bed bright and early this morning? Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed?
Well, let's find out.
Let's.
Oh, he's actually okay.
Nice.
Hey.
It's about better than he deserves.
Jill would still, I would imagine, like, Jill would be, like, getting ready to knock on Beyonce's door, and the door opens. And it's him.
Oh,
And just be like,
like
hey.
you could tell he's like he didn't have like the best sleep and like maybe stomach's kind of mad at him, a bit of a headache, but he's all in all doing all right. You could tell that the curtains are still drawn from the morning light.
Oh, sure. I was like, I thought you forgot about me for a second.
No, I'm fine, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry about last night. I got a little drunk.
It's fine. It happens to the best of us. You know, it's nice to let loose sometimes.
It was nice to have some good news.
Right. Yes. It was fun to have something to celebrate. Beyonce, I have to talk to you. I have a question that maybe you and all of your clericness can answer. And I kind of would like look down the hallway both ways and be like, "Does your room stink?"
Does it stink?
Is that the question?
No, that's not the question. But can we go in?
Is that what you wanted to ask me?
No, it isn't. I want to know if I can come into your room.
Yes. I still need to clean my armor. I mean, you tell me. I'm kind of used to it at this point, but
You do not stink. And I would walk past him into his
You
room.
do not stink.
You do not stink.
gives a little
And I would just sort of...
like armpits that sniff as she walks by.
And
Alright.
I would just find a chair or something and I would just sit and I'd be like, there's no easy way to jump into this conversation, Beyonce, so I'm just going to say it. When I died, I saw something on the other side, and I want to know if you know anything about what I should be seeing.
Like Beyonce, like is definitely like taken aback by this, and like almost like nerddom kind of pops through, and he's just like, yes, I was actually curious. Well, I mean, it's different for so many people, dependent on who they worshipped, who they were during their days on the mortal realm. It's their deeds, their misdeeds.
Right.
There are so many places to go. The cosmology of this world is... Honestly, I wish I paid more attention to the other ones, because they sounded really cool, but... Sorry.
Well,
But
you probably know more than I do. I mean, I'm not worshipping anyone in particular right now, but I worshipped Tyr for a long time, as you know.
I know very well.
I was on a boat, just me, on a river, and it was fog everywhere, and on the other side I could see buildings, big, tall, white buildings, like they were made of like marble, and it was beautiful, and then and then I got ripped back, and you were there, and then I got sent back again, and I was closer to the shore this time, and then I came back again, and that's all I remember. Is that bad? Is that good? What does that mean?
I am guessing this is the River Styx, or is it the Silver
Make
Heaven?
a knowledge religion check.
I would definitely. Is it one that I should know, or is this a?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well, because I got like a 5.
Okay. You're not sure what the exact river would be, no.
I don't know. I've heard. I remember vaguely many
There are many celestial rivers.
many
it's true.
celestial rivers. There's one in the Tyr's realm, but it's the. I don't remember the fog. It's. There are so many different rivers that could be, and like I said, I wish I paid attention more, but
It's okay, Beyonce. Thank you for trying.
wait, it's that. Do you want to know about, well, like my beliefs or anything? Do you want to know?
Yeah, where do people like you end up?
It sounds like the most wonderful place. I go to be with Tyr in the Silver Heaven. It's on in one of the mountains in Mount Celestia. It's. I've seen artwork depicting it, and I'm not even sure if I have the words to explain it. It's just been. People have spoken of a resplendent plain of marble halls, huge glistening palaces, and I dream of going to the court where Tyr resides to be with him and to live forevermore in his presence, justice, become one of his angels. And actually, now that we're speaking of this, that's where, I'm sure that's where all my family and friends are.
As Beyonce is like saying this and really getting into the description of it, and Jill can tell he's very passionate about this, Jill finds herself smiling. Just kind of smiling at his joy in talking about this place. And then when he says her family, it talks about his family and friends, and she just kind of like averts her eyes and is just like, I'm sure they are. Just waiting for you there.
They earned it. They earned it.
And at that statement, Jill is pretty, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going on about myself. What did it feel like to die? I've never died myself.
It was this at first, obviously, it's the single worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And then have you ever floated on water and you just start to drift away from shore, but you don't care, you're just floating?
Yes, yes. There was a lake near where I was born. It's a very comforting feeling.
It was like that. And I could hear all of you for a time, and then it was just like I drifted away. So that's what it was like.
And then I guess there was a hamster.
And then there was a certain hamster. It was jarring, to say the least.
Yes,
It was peaceful after a time.
Well, we all got to go sometime, so that doesn't sound so bad.
And Jill would stand up and just be like, yeah, yep, not so bad. Beyonce, thank you. I appreciate your counsel. I'll do some research on the subject and to let you know if I find anything. Jill would kind of turn to leave.
That's it. I'm really sorry I don't know more.
It's okay.
And for what it's worth, I mean, I know I probably said it multiple times last night, but I'm very glad that you didn't cross over. I don't know if I could lose someone else, and I don't know how I would take it. So, I'm glad you're here.
And I would just kind of nod and I'd be like, and I'm glad you're here, Beyonce. And then I would kind of duck pretty quickly out of the room. Talking about like the actual incident of dying was tougher than Jill expected it to be. And Beyonce's statement of must not be that bad kind of was a pretty jarring juxtaposition because it was terrible.
Twice.
So yeah. So Jill would just kind of walk around for a little bit and kind of collect herself before going to breakfast.
Okay.
And Beyonce's gonna wonder if he handled that right. And he's...
Beyonce thinks he handled it fine. You don't know this shit. You don't know my inner monologue.
Yeah, but you ducked away. Is that...
I did duck quickly.
There was some ducking.
There was quite a bit of ducking.
There was ducking.
All right. Are Callista and Leith going down to breakfast right away?
Leith is lugging a book basically the size of him with him down to breakfast.
All right. So Callista, you would see like Leith at the table, like brings this big book.
I help him get it up onto the table.
Okay.
Where did you get that?
It came to my room last night.
It just what then?
The book came.
It's a very big book. And, I mean, look around. This place is all kinds of weird magic.
Are you seriously telling me that the book just appeared at your door and you do not know who it is from? Just someone helping us? Oh, I guess I should ask what is in the book.
It's important stuff about the Shadowvar and the Netherese and lots of good information that should probably help us, stop them.
The harper we rescued yesterday. Chaucer, she knew we were looking for those things.
I think you might be right.
I'll be damned.
Can I tell he's hiding something?
What?
He's not doing a good job at it.
Yeah.
No, it's Leith.
Sense those motives.
Sense
He
him.
wanted to bluff. He could. I am choosing not to.
What am I
Sense
rolling?
motive.
Sense motive, that's what it's like. Oh, okay, 23.
Oh yeah, you know. It's very clear.
Leith? Did she deliver the book last night?
Yeah, probably. That seems to be how I remember it happening.
And
It was nice. She brought over a book.
she just dropped it off and left?
Why? Was something else?
You
She just brought me a book. We talked a little bit. It was good.
I am not that is a good thing. I am not trying to I am sorry. I am not trying to pry. I just You seem happy when you are around her, and I want that for you.
Moment, Beyonce walks in.
Perfect.
It's just,
Beyonce, come check out this book Callista found.
he's really distracted by the discussion he just had. Where's this book? What book?
It is apparently about the Shadowvar.
Oh,
My contribution to
And
finding
the
it was helping
Netherese.
Leaf put it on the table.
what does it say? What's it about?
I have not read it.
Well, I've only read the first parts, not all of it. It's a very big book. But I think it tells us a lot of the stuff that we might, want to know about the Tanthals and the people that we're fighting and what they're trying to accomplish.
Make perception
1700
checks.
years is a very long time.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in common?
The
That's a great question.
Parts of it are.
16 for perception.
$32 for Callista.
Leave.
Oh, 36.
I didn't
actually.
realize I was rolling too. My bad.
Yes.
19.
You all see a little green head making its way across the room.
Oh my god.
Kind of looking around.
Can I come to the bar now?
Yep.
Or the area?
The
Perfect. Here I-
breakfast
Perfect.
area.
Breakfast nook? Yes.
So
Awesome.
you'll come in at the same time that Harley's coming in and looking around very ostensibly. She doesn't quite see them yet. And she would see you, Jill, and she would say, good morning. How are you feeling?
Good morning. Better
And
than
she
I did.
shoves a
last night.
basket into your hands.
Oh.
And it's full of liquor.
It's a little early for me, dear. But thank you.
It's
Beyonce laughs at that.
Thank you, present.
Oh my! Thank you for. Oh well.
And and I'm sorry, and the trouble
yeah.
that you had to go through.
I would say it was no trouble, but it definitely was. Thank you for this gift. This is really nice.
You're welcome. I wasn't sure if you were taking off soon, so I wanted to make sure you got it.
Jill is looking through this. Are there any nice bottles, or is it the cheap shit you get for 50 cents on the checkout counter?
It's not
Like
cheap,
Burnett's.
but it seems to be quite varied in terms of where these bottles might have been found.
Wow.
So
Thank you. This is
Just
very,
watch them
very
off
kind.
bar.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Jill would set it down on the table, and she would actually not partake right now. She's drinking coffee.
okay. Well, if you go to the table, she'll follow you over there.
Awesome. Yes, I do.
And
Join the
she
others.
sees the book, and she says, "Oh, you have my book." And then she sees Leaf.
Callista gives Leaf kind of a crooked grin.
Oh my god.
Beyonce's kind of eyeing the both of them. Do I sense something?
I sense motive. Do I sense something?
15.
Little bit. Probably more on Lee's
You
end.
observe as a hamster.
Yes. How observant was the hamster?
Right.
I wasn't even with them.
Honestly, she smiles at Leaf, but she looks a little uncertain or about how he's going to greet her or anything like that. But she'll sit down next to you anyway, and she'll say, "Morning. Did you get a chance to look it over?"
I read as much as I could understand before I fell asleep.
I know you said you were drinking, so I don't know if you really remember anything we talked about.
Well,
Let's
I
just
was
snorts
just
a little
about to
bit.
try and explain the whole candle, spear, shadow, present, void, black and white kind of thing to everyone. But
So you
you did it
remember-
so much better.
You remember all of that.
Yeah, of course.
And everything else then probably too.
The broader strokes. Some of the finer points may have, gotten lost in the.
Oh, okay.
Callista has opened the book and she's pretending to read it, but she's listening very intently.
And she would say, well, I'm hoping this will be useful to you all. It was the only book that I could find that was directly on the subject, but it's a big library and I was just kind of perusing. So there might be more up there. It's probably worth looking and asking the scribes if they know anything. But I don't know. I think if you're going up against such a powerful enemy, it's good to know as much as you can about them.
Thank you.
Of course.
100% agree. Yeah.
Thank
you so much.
We probably should have tried that before now.
It doesn't sound like you have a lot of time to hang out in libraries.
Hey,
Not a ton.
and thank you for doing that, like, the day you got back from being captured, or...
Well,
whatever
this
you
is
were.
sort of. I mean, this could be the end of the world if they take over. Or
Yeah,
Beyonce, what we're doing is a big deal.
Beyonce just, like, gives him, like, the dirtiest fucking stare. Like,
A dirty grin. Ooh,
not a
hey.
dirty grin, dirty stare.
I know. I know.
Is
Just,
this eye patch up or eye patch down?
it's,
Ooh.
Can Leith feel the glow from behind
he's doing the, it's the, he has the crimson cloth over his eye.
Gotcha.
Sick.
the Nightbringer's
Hold on,
a grave
hold on.
danger to the Weave in general and to the world. She wants to see everything destroyed. Magic, life, everything blotted out. And I can only imagine what fanatics who've worshipped her for so long think that they're bringing back to this world by wanting to return to it. They've had a long time to stew on that.
1700 years.
That's a very long time.
It was in the book.
Did you find anything else that seemed important?
I mean, kind of all of it seems important. It's just, practical application that we need to now figure out what we can take advantage of.
Side note, I got a 35 cents motive to notice this shit, and I'm looking
yeah,
over at
you
Merrick,
totally
and I'm like,
Merrick, just elbow, elbow. Well, last night I was talking to Leith about sort of the nature of these shades, because the princes, they're what we call shades. It's not just Shadowvar. They're like a completely different type of being that they all are, and they have these powers and abilities that come with it. And it might be difficult to even try to kill them. I'm not sure how successful you would even be able to be at doing something like that.
What
But,
about holy magic?
Maybe. I'm not sure, however, because I don't know how divine magic would sort of intersect with what they are or what they aren't in a way. They might not have a soul in the sense we think of.
Like
Well,
the
does it
opposite
say
of
in,
people,
does
or
it
the
s-
absence of life and humanity.
well, does it say in the book? And he's gonna like grab the book and start like
Let's just
leafing through,
taking it away from her.
Random pages in the book.
like trying to find like any sort of like with his so bookish mind, trying to
right?
find his way
Is there
through the
an
indexes.
index in this damn
Yeah,
thing?
it's that
Glossary?
looking in the back. It's the how to fuck them over.
What does it say under strengths and weaknesses?
So Callista was already like looking through the second half of the book? Because Leith had said he started reading it. Are you like trying to?
As you're doing that, Beyonce, a piece of tiny parchment drifts out. It was very small, it was like shoved in one of the back pages that Leith didn't get anywhere near. And it's just a little scrap of parchment that floats to the ground.
I'll grab it and read it.
It says, when the moon's light is stricken from the night sky, Lord Volumvax will stand triumphant with the blood of Selune on his hands. His is the foresight needed to plunge Toril into the eternal dark, when the bitterness and resentment of the world will manifest in shadowed darkness to swallow the benevolent and the weak. Seek the refuge of the Adumbral Calyx and gather there with your brothers and sisters to spread the unholy influence of Shar throughout Faerun. Tread quietly in the outside world, always wearing your light face, the false identity that engenders trust in the foolish. Stand ever ready to slash the throat of even your most trusted ally, if such is the order of Lord Skygraph. For Volumvax is darkness incarnate, and speaks with the voice of the Mistress of the Night.
Whoa. So that...
Whoa!
Well, Beyonce's first gonna, be like, I don't know who the fuck any of these people are, but...
Who's that?
But he's the not even gonna roll for that.
No.
It's... although, actually, I did get a natural 20 on knowing about Shar all those episodes ago.
So you at least know that much, and that her whole thing is about swallowing the light and all of that, so...
You handed me the big packet, and I need to read it again.
Yes.
It's the, it's that, smart girl here, he's gonna hand it to Harley.
Smart girl here.
She takes it.
But then Beyonce's going to get lost in thought, and he's going to think, why the fuck was this in a book in the library here?
Yep.
Ooh.
It's he's going to think, have they infiltrated these halls? Are they behind it? Are they willingly propagating it?
Oh shit.
Callista wants to get a look at the paper that Harley's holding now, if she can. Is it
We're at it, yeah.
handwritten?
Handwritten, yep.
So it's not. It doesn't look like it came out of the book. It's separate.
No, it is somebody's handwritten note that was jammed
I would
in
lean
here.
over and look as well.
Okay. And she
And
flips it over to see if there's any name on it or anything, and there's not. And she would say, does this make sense to anyone? It seems like a credo, somebody's belief.
It's a call to
Seems as
action.
though it was meant for someone to find, someone on the Mistress of the Night's side.
And why is it here in a book in the library with the Harpers?
I don't know. Maybe we should
look-
ask them where this book came from.
I look nervously at Merrick and then I nod. It's like, yes, we should.
Can I open the
Now.
front cover? Is there an ownership plate or anything in the book?
There is not.
Is there a library card with date
Yeah.
Check this book out.
stamped?
Is there a Dewey Decimal System thing on the
gotta be.
binder?
There's gotta
Did
be.
we notice about where in the book the paper fluttered out of, other than just toward the back?
No, it just fell out somewhere from near the back.
We should take this. We should take this to the higher ups now.
No.
mean-
Why would- it's fallen under the... It's fell below their watchful eyes. How do we know they're not one of them?
Harpers would not be party to such beliefs.
It's that Beyonce's going to look at her deep in the eyes. How sure are you?
And Merrick
And
says,
he is
I'm
look-
damn sure.
Yance, it is the nature of a library that people use its materials. Anyone could have put that in there. It could
Yes.
be a drop for someone else to find. I assume the library here at the Twilight Hall is public?
And Harley says to anyone who's a member of the Harpers or an ally, I can show you how to get there.
That would be good. I do think we need to find out the origins of this book.
Beyonce's gonna
Who else
stand
may
up
have
right
possessed
then.
it.
I look at Merrick. I'm like, should we tell the and I forgot the guy's name. What was the guy's name that we chatted
Belwar?
with earlier? Yes.
Oh, yep.
Belwar. I said, should we chat with Belwar while they're checking out the library? I mean, this is bad. If a Harper did leave this in here, then that means there's a Harper who believes this, and they're trying to recruit other Harpers. Maybe already have.
And Merrick says, let's bring him the note. The others go ask where this book came from.
Callista,
Make sure
what?
that we get to
Yeah.
keep at least a copy of that.
Yeah,
because
Beyonce's going to ask for it back and like copy it down in his
Scribble a note down.
journal.
Ooh.
Sure are you that Bellois is absolutely not the person who would have left this?
And Merrick says he's a well-known hero of the Harpers. Everything he's ever done has been against tyrants and evil and corruption. I
And I
believe
read
it.
the line in the note that talks about the mask that you wear to mask that the
The
person
mask,
wears
of,
to.
the light mask, light
Yeah.
face.
And I just read that and I don't say anything more and I just
Yep.
look at them.
And Jill is like almost just a tiny bit on the inside, like resentful of all three of them. That they're like, it almost feels like we've just gotten this awesome thing, and Jill's a Harper now, and now they're shitting on it. Kind of
Yeah.
like that's kind of what it feels like, just a little bit. Not even worth saying, but
And,
yeah.
and you could see that Beyonce's seething. Like, just trying to, like, he's probably not hiding it very well, but he's keeping a mask, like a face. But he's not someone who hides his emotions very well.
Harley will
Beyonce.
take anyone who wants to go up to the lore library that's kept by the scribes of Denier. So otherwise, Merrick is planning to go talk to Belvoir.
We're taking
I
the
would-
book with us. They can take the
Yeah.
note.
We're taking the note. I would hold my
Yeah.
hand out to Beyonce. I'm like, are you finished?
Hands it over. And
Thank you.
So,
good luck.
this is not an indictment of the Harpers. A single person can be a bad apple without condemning the entire organization.
I
You were
obviously.
going to say condemning the entire pie.
The rest
I
of
would
the
hate-
pie is still edible.
I would hate for this to be a condemned pie. Merrick, shall we?
And he looks eager to get out of this conversation too, so he's just going to head off with you. All
Yay.
right. And as you guys head up to the library, you would see that the place is kept by numerous sages who walk around with like big cloaks on over themselves. And as you were told, these are different clerics and scribes of Denier. And so you can approach any of them to ask about where this book came from.
Hi there. Excuse me. Down here. Right.
And there's an elf gentleman who looks down at you, and he says, yes, can I help you?
So, we borrowed this book, and we were wondering what you might be able to tell us about it, or related subjects, or the person that took it out and brought it back last.
And Harley speaks up to from next to you, and she says, or where the book was found in the first place, who donated it, where it was brought in from. And he says, "Follow me." And he takes you over to sort of like behind the desk. There are big walls full of scrolls and tomes, and he seems to know exactly what he's doing. And he pulls out a scroll and unrolls it, and he takes his time. As an elf, he is not hurrying at all, and he's looking through various lists. And finally he says, here is the information you were seeking. It seems that this was brought in by a harbor over 100 years ago.
That's
Oh no,
quite a long time.
sorry. I'm thinking of another book. And he says, you said you wanted related information on this text? We do have a second book here that does deal with the Netherese. If you would like, I can pull that for you. This particular book was found more recently on, it seems, in Saarloon. There were some cultists of the Dark Lady who ran afoul of a harbor, and this was found in their base of operations and brought here for our records.
Yeah, can we see that book too?
Of course, I shall go fetch it for you. And you guys can make a knowledge geography check if you would like.
Nice.
No,
Guys
I
are
don't
doing
have
some
that. That's the traits.
sneaky research.
16.
Sneaky snakes.
Natural 20 for a 28.
Hey!
Saarloon, which is where he said it came from, is an old Sembian city that is known for its exotic tastes and Gothic architecture, like gargoyles and cool stuff. It's sometimes also known as the Chondathan region, but it is in Sembia where all of this stuff went down with the Civil War and all of the, like, where Selmy had gone in the first place. But it's a specific city in Sembia.
Wow.
And he would come back and set a second, slimmer volume down that has a completely black cover. He would say, here is the other text. It seems you're the first ones to check out either of these books in quite some time.
How much time? Because I understand that elves have quite a lot of it, and just, wouldn't
This
want to...
volume, and he points
break
at the
his
slim
something.
one, was checked out 65 years ago by Elminster. And he shuts the book.
Wow. Lofty. Okay. I doubt it was him.
And what about this one? I tap the bigger one.
It seems no one's taken an interest.
Ever?
It hasn't been here that long.
When you say not that long, when was it brought in?
In the last, 6 years.
Ah.
Is this the one that was found, that was
The
brought in
big
by
book with the
The
note.
note in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is more recent.
6 years. I'll motion to the group to kind of regroup away from the librarian.
Is that all?
Thank you very much. That is all for now.
Okay.
Could you actually pull any volumes that you might have on, I don't know, the culture and practices of the Fey Court?
Yes, I shall gather those for you shortly. And
Thank
so
you.
he goes
Take
on
your time.
to start doing that.
6 years is not a long time.
Not at all.
And given the cult activity we found in Sembia, I think it is very likely that the note was placed there in this book during that time. We cannot know that for sure, but that seems more plausible than a harper attempting to recruit through a book in the library that no one has ever checked out.
Beyonce, to anybody watching, it looks like he relaxes his shoulders a little bit. Like he doesn't seem as ragey, but still has his, like...
But just in case, yes,
Medium
rage stored away.
Went to a gentle simmer.
Yeah. Simmer your Beyonce. And Harley says, it said something about the Adumbral Calyx and to gather there. Do you think that's near this place?
Perhaps we should, near the city in Sembia?
Saraloon, yeah.
Would I know? Since I knew Sarah?
You have no idea what that place is.
Okay. Perhaps I walk back up to the librarian. What was the word? Ethembra?
The Adumbral Calyx.
Adumbral Calyx.
Do you have any sort of reference that could tell us if and where there's a place called the Adumbra Calyx?
And this elf shakes his head and says, "That is not something I've heard of."
Do you have
You
any
got, like,
old
any-
maps? Or... Oh.
I was going to ask for the exact same thing. A
I
very old
can
map.
pull maps of Zambia or of the cities you are searching, and will that be enough, or did you
Perhaps
wish for
Sembia
more?
and surrounding regions?
All right. And he's making piles of Fey books, going
And
to pulling maps.
Perhaps
Keep
also...
the Fey books in this pot.
No,
Honestly,
nice.
this is probably a good amount. You don't need to pull any more.
Good
on
place
this
to start.
particular subject.
Harley's like opening the cover of one and like leafing through this book about Faye.
Amazing.
What about texts on Salune and her relationship with the Mistress of the Night?
There are quite a few of those as well. Would you like her holy text, or are you looking for studies on the nature of the relationship between the gods?
What about prophecies pertaining to the gods?
Very well.
Is that
I
what
shall
they-
gather those next.
I'm in the middle of something.
We are going to need one of those large library carts, please.
I would like a bag, please. One
Made
of
of
those
wood.
cloth takeout bags for the library.
And obviously this can go to the bottom of the list for now, but I'm eventually going to need to collect as much information on Tyr, the Church of Tyr, holy texts, everything. The one that I'm used to was destroyed, so...
I shall put those on the list, sir.
It's
Just like slowly growing more
Every
irritated
time he
by
says
the,
the
long...
list, he sounds a little more annoyed.
Yes. And he turns around to very slowly take his time gathering all these materials for you all. But it seems that you are on to a trail.
I lean into Harley. Are we supposed to tip him or something? Is that why he is angry?
Oh no, he's just always like that.
Amazing.
And then she leans over to leave, and she says, "Psst, it's you." And she opens up one of your Fae books, and there's like a stylized drawing of like Fae royalty. It's like nothing like you, but it has like cool plants all around it, and
That's so cute. Oh my god.
I don't know if I can pull off like the whole holly mantle thing that he's got going. It seems a bit pokey.
Adorable.
all right,
That's
and that
so
is where we're actually gonna stop it. So that's a good place for it, I think.
Yeah.
Hurrah!
Destiny,
Hey,
go
guys,
to the
the plot
library.
You guys went to the library and you can
Field
find
trip
out
to the
so many things.
Yay.
You're doing some
Amazing.
research. Yay.
Amazing.
Book
I will
things.
find
guys.
information for all of your queries. I will be the librarian elf. All right, thank you guys. 50 sessions of Dice Tales.
Wow.
Yay.
Nice job, guys. Yay.
It's been real.
It
All
has.
right, so we will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.